Welcome back, everyone. Next up, we have LGBTQ Loyalty. It trades on the OTC Pink sheets under the symbol LFAP and on the NASDAQ under the symbol LGBT, and is a financial methodology and media company that quantifies corporate equality alignment with the LGBTQ community and its supporters. Please welcome its CEO, Robert Blair, and Andrew Channon, CEO of Procure AM. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thank you very much for having us. How are you today?
Really great, and happy to have you back on our conference, and looking forward to hearing some good updates from you all.
Fantastic. And that's certainly where, we've been really working really incredibly hard on building our assets under management for our, licensed in partnership with Procure AM. They've been such an amazing partner in helping us determine the methodology process, how to bring it to the market, and how to really share in something, really incredibly special. I mean, when you think about it, for people that have just joined us for the first time, now people can go to the NASDAQ and actually invest in 100 companies that really support their principles and core values. And that was the vision of our company from the very beginning at LGBTQ Loyalty, was to build a company that could engage our community, engage diversity and inclusion, and at the same time, bring companies together that support that and who have been time tested. We spent over $1 million in a methodology process to go through all 500 companies from the S&P 500. Our community played a role in the surveying and polling, which was really unique in nature, never done before for a financial product. And we figured out the top 100 that are serving, the environmental social governance wave that's amazing, that serves the diversity and inclusion. And for us, it serves our LGBTQ community and making sure that, people are being well looked after, that their rights are being protected, that they're being given a fair opportunity, that a kid that comes out of college can get a job at an S&P 500 company or all the way down to the wine bar in Chelsea, and that they're going to be looked after and protected and given these same opportunities to elevate and become successful, and not because of the color of their skin or who they love. And so we've really, I think, with Procure AM over the last couple of years, done a good job with that. But now let's just be frank, it's time for support. It's time for everybody that's watching today to join us and play that role in helping us. So, our value is that we have financial products now. We have an index, and we have an ETF that now gives people to literally call their broker today and buy shares. Our passion is to continue to create additional products and services. We've got incredible data. We've got an incredible methodology process. And, going into the fourth quarter, we are working to figure out exactly how we're going to monetize those assets. We know there's lots of diversity and inclusion people out there, and companies and nonprofits and Equality Florida, Equality California. There's all types of groups out there that are trying to create a bucket of companies that they want to support and or invest in. And I think that our assets now that we've accumulated over the last few years bodes well to provide services to assist them accomplish their goals. And our purpose is to really give accountability to equality, accountability to treating everybody fairly. And we're now doing it on the world stage, on Wall Street. And I can't encourage anybody enough to really step up and own your few shares in LFAP and LGBT, because it is in recognition of your personal self-financial interest. We're going to speak here in a few minutes on the results of the index and the overwhelming success of the index, and how it's outperformed the S&P, and how I think we got our 100 companies right, and we hold them accountable. But equality is the soul of liberty. Let's talk about that. There is, in fact, no liberty without it. But it takes people. I get lots of love on Twitter, but I get a lot of shareholders that say, when are you going to get more assets under management? When are you going to launch another product? When are you going to monetize your assets? I tell all of you, We are building a company for the long term. We are building a company that we want here 30 years from now. We want a company that proves itself every step of the way. We proved that we picked the right 100. We proved that our index could outperform the market. We partnered with the best team, I think, in the world in Procure AM with Andrew Channon and Robert Tull. They gave us the foundation to license our LGBT uniqueness, and they gave us and launched an ETF that we partner in. And it's amazing. But it's up to you now, the followers and the shareholders and the supporters that love what we're doing, is to help build our assets under management and to help us grow our OTC company so one day we can get to the NASDAQ. So one day we can be that company that you desire us to be. But I tell you, it takes support. It takes every one of your friends to own a few shares in the ETF. It takes every one of your friends to own a few shares in LFAP. And I need your support so that, I can be loved by everyone on Twitter, Andrew, not just people that have been following us from day one. And I understand shareholders want immediate returns and they want, sometimes quick success. But, we've been at this for a few years. I think every step of the way we've gotten it right. And, we're very happy to be here today. Certainly, if you look at our index, I mentioned how it performed. We've outperformed the S&P by over 5%. We are really capturing the voice of our community through our surveying polling with Harris. And we're also fighting for everyone because our community is everybody. Don't forget that. We're white, we're African American, we're Jewish, we're Catholic, we're Muslim. We come from all over the world. We have different, LGBTQ. So we are fighting for everyone. We want women to be paid equally. We want young college kids to get the same shot as every other kid to get that good job. We want the net this big so that, the world's being better well served. And I will tell you, we've proven, and I can say that, we've proven that companies that are operating under these best practices, they are doing better. Their financials are better. Their job retention is better. Their HR department is doing much more successful things and monitoring positive things versus negative things. Lawsuits are down. They have a wider net for better talent. Job retention is incredible. And that's why these companies are doing better. So, we call to action all companies from the S&P all the way down, like I said, to the small wine bar in Chelsea. If you're going to operate a business and you're going to hire people and you're going to work with people and serve your community, you got to do it under the best practice of serving equality. And if you're doing that, it looks like you're going to be a lot more successful. The social impact and shaping corporate behavior, I think that we've taken a role in holding corporations accountable. I think that the 100 companies that are part of our index are really proud to be there. We've heard from many of them, really proud to be there. And, they want to do better and better because they know their competitors have taken notice. What is that really doing in the ripple effect of life? It's making sure that our community is better well served. It's making sure that everybody from a diversity inclusion environment, from a minority organization, from a minority family to just being a minority are being better well served. Because and I don't have to tell you, we've been held back, we've been set back, not crying about it. We did something about it. We went out and proved that companies that are serving us better are going to be able to serve you better with a better, bigger, profitable, more successful company. And our index has been a great champion of that. And I got to give great congratulations to our partner, Fuzzy Logics, closely with Procure AM. Work very closely with my team at LGBTQ Loyalty, our wholly owned subsidiary, Advancing Equality Preference. That board, that team did a fantastic job. I mean, basically the ideal bridge to other equality-driven communities. We've created that bridge. So if anybody's out there that wants to build a methodology process and who wants to encourage and champion a diversity and inclusion process to determine what they deem to be important to them in this sector, We've got a very, very unique proprietary process. We've got assets that are valuable to you. We have a polling and surveying process that's unique in nature. And I think that collectively, everything that we've done to prove that our index is incredible and to prove that we got it right, we can share that with you, and we can work out some licensing agreements. We can work out some monetization that works for everyone. And in the meantime, we can elevate you to the level that you want to achieve, whether you're a business owner, an OTC business, whether you're a corporate equality company, whether you're a minority-run nonprofit organization, or you're Equality California, or if you're a politician that's trying to run for office, whoever you are, if you really want to understand diversity and inclusion, and you really want to understand how to target the market, and how you really want to accumulate data and valuable assets and have access to those that can help you determine, then I think that we can really help you. And that's something that we really want to be doing in the future. I will tell you that this didn't happen on my own. Look at this incredible team, including, in addition to Andrew and Robert, who sat with me at the Maxim Group offices in the Chrysler Building on day number one, Andrew. And I can't thank you enough for the support you've done for us. We would never have done what we did and accomplished what we're doing without you, and continuously today and ongoing, hopefully for many, many years. But the great Barney Frank joined us in the very beginning with Robert and Andrew and myself, and the amazing Billy Bean. He's transcended Major League Baseball for equality. Orlando Reese, who ran Pride Media now, is a leader over there at Univision. Andrea Brianna, one of the starting founders of the Huffington Post, chief technology officer there, now runs Rebel Mouse. What an incredible success story, transgender superstar. And of course, my dear friend, Martina Navratilova, what can you say about her? She's been fighting for equality, for equal rights. She left her country at 18. She wasn't being treated fairly then. And from that day forward, she's been a champion for equality, for women, for equal rights for everybody. And this board of directors is absolutely second to none in our community, and we're focused on our community. But we realize what we've done in the D&I space and what we've done in the ESG space, and we're willing to share what we did for our group, for our family, and help you do more for your own. I think that at the end of the day, you can read some of the things that our team have said. Barney Frank says, I'm very proud to be part of this, incredible effort, LGBTQ equality with access to investments that reflect their values while simultaneously rewarding businesses. It's just amazing when you really get into how he understood that value from day one. Is that, can you imagine having companies that go out of their way to support us? We recognized that years ago. We went and figured out who they were really, not just a couple of questions here or there, but well over $1 million spent to figure it out. And then you go get the 100 on an exchange like the New York Stock Exchange, and then it outperforms the S&P 500. What a visionary of Barney and Billy and Andrew and Cliff Teller at Maxim Group and all the great people that have been behind this. And it's been an army. And I go back to our shareholders and say, read some of the things that Martina and Orlando are saying, and our passion and our time. I spend 14 hours a day trying to achieve an equality platform that serves our community, that then encourages Wall Street and corporate America to do better for us. And in return, the world's better well served. But guess what? We have financial products that serve your financial work. I can't do this alone. I can't do this where people love the idea and they think it's the greatest thing in the world. But the way you really help us is you buy shares and you become an owner and you jump on the team and you work with us and you are a part of LFAP. And you're a shareholder that has a vision with us and who shares ideas and who reaches out to me. And, I get probably 100 texts a week and maybe 200 emails every couple of weeks with wonderful ideas and concepts. And, but again, we're taking it step by step. We're building something, what I believe to be incredible. I think everybody agrees what we're doing is spot on, timely. I think people believe it couldn't be any better time. The world's accepting, they're open-minded. But the way that we make this a success for all of you and for you to play your part, no matter where you live in the world, wherever you are today, all 3,000 people that are listening right now, think about it. Your role and your way to help your grandson, your nephew, somebody that's close to you that fits the D&I box, your way to support is to buy a few shares. And now you have your piece of history. And you know what? Let's let that appreciate. Let's do more. Let's do another index and another ETF with Andrew and Robert. Let's monetize the incredible proprietary technology and all of the unique ways that we built this platform for the LGBTQ community, for the ESG community, and for the diversity inclusion community. Let various organizations from all walks of life now come to us, and we'll help them. We'll guide you. We'll make sure that you don't make some of the mistakes we made. And it took us a couple of years to do this. We could have some of you guys in business with an ETF and an index with Robert and Andrew in 3 or 4 months because we've gone through the process. So we're really looking forward to working with people that are excited about doing something similar to what we did for the communities and people they serve. We're amplifying the voice of the community. We want to do that for everybody. The constant source of relevant media and data, that's what our polling and survey gives us. We're able to get, data on an annual basis. Harris Poll, by the way, does the incredible job. It's about a 25-minute survey. We reached out to 250,000 people, and I will tell you the results of that were incredible. 25% of how we determine what the index is based on the community. So think about doing a poll or survey to the African-American community or to the Latino community or to any organization that fits in the D&I. And can you imagine getting that data back on a constant basis and understanding exactly their likes, dislikes, who they want to work for, who they want to support? 25 minutes is a long time. And so we reached out to influencers in all 50 states and got the responses back. So the power of that data is very, very valuable, and it can be monetized. And so for you shareholders of LFAP, we are going to monetize our data. We are going to monetize our assets on what we created for LGBTQ. We are going to do that, and we want to do that with other diverse organizations. So I think assembling a globally recognized influencer list is important for people that want to do that for their community that they serve. It's important that you have influencers like we do with Barney Frank, Billy Bean, Martina Navratilova, Andrea Brianna, Robert Toll, Andrew Channon. These are influencers. I mean, Andrew Channon built $1 billion ETF in the cyberspace. He has built a space ETF that is doing incredible today. We are working with the winners of the winners of the winners. And, we just want you to join us, embrace what we're doing, be supportive in that you stick with us for the long haul. Don't look at where we trade every single hour or day or even month or every 6 months. Look at this. The history tells us if you build something good and you build something sustainable and you build something that makes a difference and provides value to the people you serve, you will have a sustainable business that can be monetized and can grow humanity. We're serving a community. We're serving a group of people that need support because we're one generation away from going backwards, right? One generation away from going backwards. So, I can't stress enough the people watching today to join us in the way you join us. I've mentioned several times. So leveraging our organization. How important is it to have this team all in place? And I've kind of mentioned the various team members here from, Procure AM, all of our strategic partners from Fuzzy Logics to Harris Poll to our relationship with Pride Partners, GHS, our dear friends over at Power Up, Seth Kramer and others. I mean, these are people, Procure AM, the people over at Gregory FCA who help us get the word out to you. I mean, we put together a team that if this was baseball, many of our team members would be on the all-star team. And it would be led with our lead pitcher over there, Andrew. And I tell you, it's just incredible when you look at the organization. I go back to, that's where I can feel comfortable and confident and ask you for your support by owning shares and being a shareholder and owning our ETF and sharing it with your broker and going to your next investment podcast and telling everybody about it, because it's about word of mouth, and the credibility of your support goes a long way. So our organization really is something special. And if you really want to dig and drill down on the results of the index, I mean, we outperformed the S&P over an 11-year period by over 40%. And then since we've launched the index, since October of 2019, we've been continuously outperforming by about 5%. So it kind of eliminates the whole idea is this a charity? Is this risky? Is this something that I might lose my money on? The question and the answer to that is, with the ETF, you're investing in the best 100 companies. Many of you already have these companies in your portfolio, right? You do. All I'm asking you to do is to reallocate your funds to the ETF. That's all I'm asking you to do. And because many of you already have these companies, you just do. Many of you have Tesla, Amazon. Many of you have many of these companies, Coca-Cola, all of them. But how neat would it be for you to make sure that you're investing in the right companies that support you, your family, your values? Martina and I were on a call a few weeks ago, and she said when she was in her early 20s, she had an extra $100,000 to invest, and she told her broker to invest the money. And when she looked at the list of companies, she about had a heart attack. And she started at that time, even all those years ago, like looking for companies that served her values. And she finally got a portfolio that she figured out that kind of worked for her. So, this is not a new concept in terms of, wanting to support businesses that support us or you. I will tell you that millennials are really, really serious about how they're going to spend their money, who they spend their money with. And that's what really gives me incredible excitement about our future, because there's this huge transfer of wealth we'll show in a few minutes. And if the millennials really are serious, which I believe they are, and they're showing it, that they're supporting real companies that have real values that mean something to them, they're only going to buy products and brands and services that serve them and serve their interests, which means our ETF and our financial products that we'll create in the future are invaluable to them, because we've done all the homework, and they can trust that Barney Frank's not signing off on a bunch of companies that are not 100% the best of the best of the best, or Andrew and Robert are not signing off on 100 companies that are not thoroughly vetted through the process of deep drilling, not just a few questions, a few answers, and a few checks from the ISS. This is a process that is second to none. So growth of our platform is very important. Here's the transfer I was talking about. 68 trillion underway. The baby boomer generation of wealth transfer over the next 25 years to a generation who will invest with great social conscience. We just talked about that. And ESG is no longer a fad. But guess what? We are the S of ESG, environmental social governance. The environmental group's doing great. I think governance has been in place for quite some time. We determined that we want to be the S. We want to be part of the S. We want to be part of the solution for the S. And look at all the money going to ESG. Look at all the money going into ETFs. So I think that we're at the right place at the right time. But again, you're the one that determines that. And the way that you determine that for us and how you can be on the team is you got to buy shares in the ETF, and you got to buy shares in LFAP, because LFAP is our fuel, right? That's the fuel that goes in the tank that gives us the ability to have good funding, not funding that most OTC companies get, good funding with good partners who treat us fairly. And that's been a challenge for us being a startup company a few years ago. I'm not speaking to anybody, but everybody knows this. And that's been my challenge as your leader, as CEO, is navigating those challenges and getting to a point where we are today, which I believe today we have an incredible partner with GHS. They are funding us incredibly well, and they're investing for the long term. We are right now literally getting ready to launch our S1. Great news for everyone, is effective. And we're finalizing how we're going to pull down our money now with our $10 million credit facility. So we do it in a way that works for our shareholders, works for our lender, and gives the fuel to the company so that Andrew and Robert and the team can advise us on how we can grow more financial products and a larger platform for people to invest, and how we can collectively monetize our assets and help minority groups, diversity inclusion groups, also get the tools from us that they don't have to create on their own and have an incredible learning curve. And we can help obviously do that. So that is, without question, the future. ESG is here to stay. The wealth transfer is happening, and diversity, inclusion, and these types of conversations are at the top of the food chain. If anybody watched the U.S. Open tennis championships this past couple of weeks, which as a former tennis player, best tournament ever. But besides that, remember their We Open? They have a campaign that they were running commercials all tournament long about being open, equal. This is a conversation for the ages. We are in the midst of a social revolution, as Matt Schlissel says over at GIS, where people are literally giving a darn about this conversation. We have given you the ability to participate. It's like you sign up your kid for Little League, you got to get them the ball and the bat and the glove. Well, we've got you the ball, the bat, and the glove to participate and play and get in the game with us. And I think to come forward. So at this time, I'd like to introduce, somebody that really did see a global awakening. And I say that in all due respect because Andrew, when I first met him, he says, Bobby, I like to do things that are unique in nature. I knew that there was a big cybersecurity issue around the world. I saw that, the space thing and what Elon Musk are doing is unique in nature. And I might be ahead of the curve a little. But guess what? Those two things that Andrew's done in the last 5 years have become incredible and revolutionary and game-changing, and bringing recognition to these companies that they determine to be the best of the best. Look how those are trading. Look at the assets under management there. So we're hoping that Andrew's guidance and support and partnership can bring this awareness to diversity and inclusion. So Andrew Chanin, thank you for being with me today, and say hello to our supporters.
Thank you so much for the introduction, Bobby, and thank you everyone for being in attendance today. My name is Andrew Chanin, and I represent Procure AM. We are the issuer to LGBT. And as the issuer, I think it's also important to, when talking about the ETF, to make sure you discuss the ETF with your financial advisor and read the fund's prospectus and through the various risks and disclosures so you understand what you're investing in. But I'd like to say that this is something that we've been working on with Bobby and his team for several years, even prior to launching this product. And to us and everyone involved, it was extremely important that we did this the right way and the first time. And yes, being first to market is something that historically has been important for ETFs, but making sure you bring a product that you can feel proud of and one that you think that represents the investment methodology that you want to provide for investors is extremely important, which is why it took so long to bring this product to market. One interesting journey before getting to the ETF, something that touched me and really kind of affected us moving forward as a company. Certainly, I consider myself an ally of the LGBTQ plus community, and these people are our friends, our family, our neighbors, our colleagues, and much more. And along this pursuit of creating an ETF, one of the things that you need to do is line up all your various service providers. And when going through this process, believe it or not, one of our service providers actually had said that they would not support and service this product because they are a religious values company and they would not represent this product. And to me, that just showed even more how important doing this ETF was, because there are people in the community that are discriminated against. Although I may myself not be an individual that represents as LGBT or Q, that this is something that these people are affected with, whether you see it or not. This is a real problem, and something that hopefully by working with Bobby and his team on the index and the ETF, this is something that we can address head on. So why is this ETF important to us? Well, anyone these days can launch an ETF. You can slap a name on an ETF and you can bring it to market. But for us, it was trying to find an opportunity. And if you look at the LGBTQ plus community in the United States, this represents roughly a $1 trillion community. And as a community, it also happens to be one of the most loyal with their purchasing power. And so to us, actually going to the community and getting their input was essential. Other attempts at trying to create an LGBTQ plus focused index really relies on just going to companies' HR departments and seeing which boxes they check. But to us, we see so many commercials. We see at pride parades, we see every brand out there slap their brand on a rainbow flag. But that might not necessarily be authentic to the actual community, and in some cases may actually be offensive. And so actually including the community that we wanted to help develop a product to help support, and getting their input to find out which of these companies actually do come through to them and that they recognize them as those being supportive for their community, to us was extremely important. Because if you look at a community that has roughly $1 trillion that they could spend on one company versus another, having that input we thought would potentially be something that could be helpful, which is why it was extremely important to us that the community was actually involved in this process. So, as Bobby mentioned, there are billions of dollars going into ESG products, and one of the toughest things out of the gate is getting approved on platforms. It's getting having a track record, and for many companies in ETFs, it could be a 1 year requirement, a 2 year, a 3 year when getting in front of pension funds. So to us, this is very interesting because this is something that that we believe pensions and endowments are interested in investing in equality and inclusion. And taking this a step further, as opposed to just the investment focus, what we hope to do is create a product that is able to achieve significant assets under management, so that we can go back to these companies, the ones that are in the 100, and show them, hey, look, this has been wonderful in your ability to raise new investor capital via the ETF, because you're qualifying based on not only the rigorous methodology and ESG weighting factors at the beginning, but the community recognizes you as doing something more than your competitors, and that's why you're included. And to also go to those companies that are not in the 100 and show them that this is extremely important. Look at what you're missing out on. And because of the data and the input that Bobby and his team are getting, they have the tools to go to these companies and show them what they can do to improve on what they're doing. And for that is just incredibly important. So although LGBT may not be the world's biggest ESG ETF, we do hope that this fund has the ability to grow and to shape how corporate America changes their policies, treats its employees, as well as appeals to its client base. And it's not just spending $1 billion on saying that you're great for the community. It's by actually doing things that resonates with the community. And so we believe this is an incredibly important project. We've seen some of the hurdles that this community faces just on the basis of getting service providers and access to service. And this happens in even more critical parts of the life for people in the LGBTQ plus community, whether that's healthcare service, whether that's the ability to live in a certain apartment versus another. These are all things that they're facing every day. And we think that this is one step in the way of changing how corporate America thinks and putting everyone on an equal playing field. So I'd like to thank Bobby and his team for believing in us and working with us, the incredible board that they've assembled and their passion for this, and everyone's help for getting the word out. And certainly, feel free to reach out to us if you have questions on the ETF. Certainly read the prospectus and learn as much as you can about the fund, how it operates, the underlying index and the methodology, as well as the various risks and disclosures, and talk to your financial advisor. And if they want to know more, have them talk to us. We're here standing by, and we really really believe in the work that Bobby and his team are doing, and we certainly want to get LGBT as a ticker and as front of as many people as we can.
It's fantastic, Andrew, and I think that everybody that just had the incredible, pleasure of hearing you the last few minutes understands why our board is so committed and why we have thousands of shareholders today, and really working to build a shareholder base of people that believe exactly the way you believe and who support and who are inspired by you and Robert and Fuzzy Logics and Harris Poll and our team and our investors. I mean, just that to me, what you just said makes my job totally so incredibly pleasurable, and thank you for that. And I think you really hit on the nail of the head what we're doing, and to be the leading global diversity and inclusion index platform, empowered by our community to advance equality, maximize impact, as you talked about, deliver performance for investors in the community. And that's our vision. And our vision is to do that through financial products and through services that we can align with organizations and people, and all people from all walks of life who want to do something special for their community that they serve, where we can package up everything that we're doing, as Andrew said, and provide a really nice service to help you determine who and how you're going to support various companies and or local businesses, et cetera. I know I spoke to Equality Florida just the other day, and they have an organization where they look to support various companies from Florida. And they were trying to figure out a process how they could do that maybe even better. And so we had a nice conversation about how maybe we could help do that. And I think it's a good example of how the experience and the team and the resources that we've packaged up into a nice box at Advancing Equality can certainly serve others. I just really think that diversity and inclusion is here to stay. I think Andrew and everybody agrees with that. That includes race, ethnicity, gender, sexual identity. It includes, amplifying the voice for equality. It's my job as your CEO. I have to be the guy that's out there amplifying this aggressively. It's in my heart and soul. I feel like I had too many years not living my truth as a tennis player and as a business person. It took me a little while to come out and really be proud of who I am, and really take pride in the fact that I am who I am. And so I think amplifying it and really helping and hoping to inspire others to join me is my number one focus. And just growing the spotlight on corporate equality is so important. To build a sustainable and well-recognized index and ETF. That word "recognized" is where we are today in our business. As Andrew said, talk to your financial advisors, talk to people that you trust, do your homework. And if it's something that is right for you and you want to support equality and you want to encourage those corporations in the top 100 to do more and do everything better. And of course, they can all improve. They're not perfect, but they're the best of the best today. And think where we've come since Harvey Milk's days, where the orange juice girl was down there in Florida. Remember Anita Bryant, and she was yelling and screaming that teachers should be fired and gay teachers shouldn't have jobs. And it's unbelievable where we've come, and just think where we can continue to go. And for us to have now accepted and embraced financial products that recognize the companies that are doing the best, and they're being recognized on all of the news networks with Andrew and I and throughout all the media, we've come a long way. And Harvey Milk says, come out, be proud. Well, more and more are, and we've come a long way, but we have to be recognized, and we have to have this to become a household name. And we have to make sure that people know about us. And, I will tell you, and we have a $45,000 a month budget right now. We haven't quite spent all that in the first month because we're really tweaking the marketing. I've gotten hundreds of tweets from shareholders. How's the marketing going? How's that happening? I said, well, we're tweaking it. We had to really kind of get it just right. I think we're starting to get into a nice stride, and we're starting to see more volume with the ETF, et cetera. So, listen, we're doing everything we can. I think 45,000 is a big budget. We planned that out for, I think, the next 6 months, and we're evaluating it. I have a call next week. Every week I'm evaluating, are we spending it in the right spot? Are we doing it in the right way? I know I want to get to New York in the next couple of weeks and start meeting face-to-face with people. I think that's a great way to build awareness, is just let me take you to lunch and share you with our story. And so I know that we're going to start doing more of that now that COVID is not necessarily as serious up in the Northeast. And I'm ready to go. I've been ready to go for a long time. But, to really, build that sustainable and well-recognized index and an ETF portfolio of brands with the Procure AM, focus on unlocking the growing diverse influence and collective financial power of the emerging equality-seeking population, that delivers maximum ROI and social impact for investors. So I think that's really our mission today, is to really keep really moving it forward. We want to be that global D&I index and product leader. That's just what we want to do. We want to build on powerful and relevant and build a global brand. We want humanizing indexes and ETFs that outperform the market. Best position to mobilize the crowd of constituents in the key D&I. We do that through our polling and surveying, where we're bringing the crowd together through this polling and surveying. We want to demonstrate social impact at being an investment that is important and should be to everyone. Small piece of your portfolio, social impact. How cool is that? And quite frankly, I don't mind saying it, we want to own the S. We want to be the leader in S, like Home Depot was the leader in home improvement. We want to lead, with Coca-Cola, that was a leader in the soft drink business. We want to lead, and we want to lead in our area, and we want to lead in the S, and we want to help anybody that wants to improve the S to work with us. And we're call to action to reach out to us. If you really want to improve your position with social impact, diversity, inclusion, your stance on ESG, support for the LGBT community, any of you that have businesses, people like all walks of life until the last day of your business, how neat would it be for you to know exactly how to business that best serves your employees, and never forget your allies that are working for you, that are going to demand you to treat everybody equally because they want their teammate and their friend and their family member, whoever, to be treated equally. The allies are just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the community. Never forget that. Allies do care. I have friends that won't go to certain restaurants because they don't serve equality. Airlines that may not serve equality as well. They make financial choices based on how my partner Brian and I are treated, and that's happening all over the world. So I think it's important for people to know that. Compelling revenue for LFAP shareholders, index licensing, right? We want to be able to create recurring licensing fees on AUM from turnkey asset management platforms, right? Number 2, ETF sponsorships, recurring licensing fees on AUM from ETFs listed on the NASDAQ and NYSE. And that's our relationship with Andrew Channon, where, we do that with them, and we share in that revenue, and we couldn't do it with a better partner. And if you are a diversity inclusion organization or anyone, and you want to have a team like ours, our team is standing by to help you, as Andrew's already welcomed. Proprietary data. I think data is the key to the future. Knowledge is power. There's zero question about it. Our data is amazing. It's growing every day. We're looking for more and more ways to hold Wall Street and corporate America and businesses accountable. And the way that you find out the information is that you have to build data, and you have to survey, you have to poll, you have to interview, you have to research, you got to look at filings, you got to look at reports. And I know that we're building our proprietary data. Very important to advancing equality preference, to bring a value to businesses that we can help achieve the goals that we've achieved by launching something that was special to our community. Partner loyalty programs, we've talked about opportunity to consult and customized programs with corporate clients aligned to their D&I initiatives. And what we want to do is elevate you. We want to elevate your best practices. I know I'm the keynote speaker at the LD Micro event in a few weeks in October, and their theme this year, Andrew, is courage. And, you know, courage is something that I will tell you, when I first walked into the LD Micro event about 6 years ago, I was scared to death. I was probably the only out gay guy there. I was the only guy there with a gay business initiative. And I would sit in the corner, and that Chris Leahy, he was the owner, Bobby, get out there and start talking and be proud of who you are and don't be intimidated. I said, yeah, but I've read so much on Wall Street and corporate America. They're not a big fan of what I'm doing. I'm just afraid that I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I don't want to get it. I don't want anybody to be, uncomfortable. And I want them to enjoy your event too. And I got to tell you, I was so welcomed and so embraced and so incredibly inspired by the support that it gave me the courage to go to Maxim and talk to you guys. And we got to where we got because I had to have a little courage. And now I ask people that are on that fence like I was, or should I really support something, like this? Should I spend a few $1,000s to own a few shares? Should I? The answer is absolutely yes. And it's because future growth. What we're talking about is going nowhere. And
Robert, I hate to
investor. Yep.
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt you because I love this presentation and it's so moving and heartfelt, but we gotta cut you off because we gotta get to our next presenter. I'm so sorry.
So can I wrap it up in like 10
seconds?
Wrap it up.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
All I want to say is if you love what we're talking about and you believe in what we're talking about, join us. You know how to do it. Thank you, everybody, for being with us today.
Yeah, great presentation. Thank you guys so much. It's super important. We look forward to you coming back on again and giving us more information updates. Thank you all for joining us.
Have a great day.
All right, everyone, we're moving to our next presenter. Stay with us. We'll be right back.